And we are live! And I am El Frico. Hi. Pretty excited. Okay. Mmm. Indeed. Oh, hold on. No, hold on. Desktop was muted. Crap. Sorry. Sorry, one more time. I'm sorry about that. We are so talented here at the Frost and Fizz. We have everything in control.
It's because I just praised us 2 seconds ago saying,
Right?
man, we are all on time and stuff this week. Look how pro we are.
Always. Why was I looking at the? I was looking at the, staring at the mic, like the mic was staring at me. Hey guys, can you see me? It's been a
That's
long
kind
week.
of hilarious.
Been
So,
a long week.
anyways, what is up, beautiful people? This guy is Wolf Brother Mythos Kushranada from the channel Frost and Fists.
And you guys already heard what I said because my mic just happened to be on.
That freak over there, my brother,
That
and I have a great show for you guys tonight. We got several things to talk about. And along with that, though, I mean, we've got, of course, we got our weekly motivation from Chaplain EMO. Always got something good from that guy. We've got our weekly 100% true fact of elucidation this week. We've got the art of the week as always. But our main topic we'll get to later on in the show is that Warhammer 40K continues to grow more and more mainstream. How does that make you feel? People tend to feel a little both ways about that. Some people like Warhammer being their little niche thing, and some people are glad to see the growth. So where do you weigh in on that? But before we get all that, we got a whole show worth of stuff to get to. And you guys know we don't get to the main topic until the very end. In fact, not only are we not going to get to it till the very end, but we're probably going to ramble on and on along the way because
that's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do, right? We're not just here to convey a professional show to you guys. Nah. We're here mostly to hang out with you guys and call it a show.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a train wreck, but we call it a show.
Zane said, all I heard was a long and Zane says, ew, normies in the hobby. So I guess we know where he is on this equation. That's funny. All right. So I guess we can jump straight into, jump straight into our hobby progress. This is where we normally like to start this show because having what we've done throughout the week in our hobby is like, you know, where we get to share our hobby speciality.
Right.
You know, sometimes we come back and we're like, shit, I ain't paid anything all week, but
pretty much, yeah.
Sometimes we actually get some work done. Where did you fall this week, freak?
Well, I ain't done crap. Not a dang thing. Just been a busy week. I've had family friends over to come visit the baby. Since my daughter is actually staying with us until they can find an apartment. So, of course, so anybody wants to see the baby, they just come right and come over. So, really never didn't get a chance to do anything. So, got a little special thing for you guys. You guys actually get to see me hobby. Because I haven't done anything all day. or all week, I've been like hankering to do some hobbying, and this is what I'll be working on. I'll be working on my cavalry, Space Wolves. Can't wait. I'm really looking forward to doing some work on this, and I've been watching some really cool videos on doing the wolves and doing
What, wait,
the
what is that you're painting there? That,
let me think.
that a
What
wolf?
those are wolves, right?
That's awesome, dude. That is so awesome.
Well, the cool
I'm
thing
really
is that I don't want to have them Easter egg looking, right? So that's kind of what I'm trying to avoid is to have that Easter egg, look. And so I've looked up some really cool ideas how to paint them. So I got an idea how I want to do it, but especially the cavalry, the mounts. These are going to be so super cool. I've got some really good ideas on how to get them started, and you get to see me do it. So along with that, I have 2 cameras. I don't have it active right now. I have to go find my super glue. I think I left it in the dining room, but I need that so I can mount it on the base so I can actually start spraying. And then I'll turn on my other camera, and you guys get to see me use the airbrush. So something different, you know. So.
Is this the same camera that you're going to be doing to show your airbrush work and all that later?
Yeah, pretty much. It's the same thing. So basically, I've got this camera here that's facing me directly, and then I've got another camera that is facing down onto my paint booth.
Okay. Well, the reason I ask is, do you want to switch to the triple overlay, so that way you can keep your face and keep your airbrush going?
Oh, I have it. What I'm going to do is it's going to go in the center. I don't have to create a triple overlay. I'll just put it right there in the center where the Warhammer 40K Frost and Fists. It's just going to pop right there so people can see it. So when I'm ready to turn it on, it'll come up and it won't take away from us. So I just got to get my my super glue or my plastic glue. But yeah, so like I said, I haven't been able to do anything all week. And I've been watching some videos on doing these, so I'm really hankering to do it. Really want to do it. So, how about you, man? And while you're talking about it, I'm gonna run and get my super glue.
All right. Well, actually before you run,
okay,
something I want to show you too.
Okay.
So you saw early in the week that I did. I was inspired with this week's D&D session. I went ahead and painted up Darklight Dreamer's Hero Forge model, right?
Yeah. Oh.
So inspired this week, I went ahead and painted up mine as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. You said you were working on that.
Look at those highlights on that cape.
Oh wow. Now I gotta paint mine.
That's not bad.
No.
Of course, it's super shiny right now because I just did my gloss varnish. I'm waiting on it to dry before I go in with the matte varnish. But I just wanted to create that little protective shell.
Okay.
So it's hard to see the colors at all. It's kind of just looking shiny right now. But overall, I mean, I'm pretty pleased.
Dude, it almost looks like the one in the picture.
Sweet. That's definitely what I was going for. So
now I have to go ahead and paint mine now. Doggone it. This guy right here. Yeah. Gotta paint him. That guy.
That'll be the last of our quartet painted up.
Right?
Pretty awesome, my brother.
Okay, I'll be right back, man. I gotta get that super glue.
Go get that, my man. Go get it. All right, so I've got those 2 D&D models painted up. Al Kirkham, good evening, my man. We've got hey, wait, where's Atomic Dog? He's probably out getting some tacos. This is usually his taco night. Did Emo finally get to him? I miss him already. I'm sure you'll see him at some point tonight. So anyways, other hobby progress. So that's really all the painting I got accomplished. I did make a start to my Primaris Hellblasters. Just kind of just finally starting, kind of putting their poses together. So I've got 10 of these bodies put together. Just the torsos and the backpacks. It's funny because I sat down to watch SmackDown with the family last night, and I was like, yeah, babe, I'll just unpack my Hellblasters and build them at my leisure while we watch wrestling. And I pulled out the kit, and the multi-part kit, it comes in so many tiny pieces that I definitely realized that I was mistaken when I thought I would be building at my leisure. So the multi-part kit is definitely no joke. But yeah, so I decided to go for that. That's going to go. I know I said I was going to start with the battalion. I did kind of derail myself there by going for the Hellblasters next. But when you come right down to it, doing the Hellblasters is just something more interesting for me right now, which is going to help my hobby progress than going back to doing more standard bolter troops. And thinking about it, I've got my lieutenant, I've got one squad of 5 intercessors, so that's at least the minimum for a patrol detachment. So I will be usable, not finishing my battalion right now. But yeah, I'm just more interested in painting up the Hellblasters right this second.
Ooh, you got Hellblasters?
Maybe.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I got to put some guns on my Ultramarines gun line.
Yeah, that's true, man.
So I was telling them I started building. All I have literally are the torsos, front and back, because unlike the Dark Imperium, I do have the Dark Imperium
Right.
Hellblasters around somewhere, but I had always wanted those Hellblasters to go with my wolves.
Oh.
So I picked up another set of the full kit, but the multi-part kit is so huge. Like it's definitely not the easy build like the other Hellblasters.
Really?
Where
They're different?
They're different. They're the multi-pose kit.
Yeah.
And so with the multi-pose kit, it is literally like each leg is a separate bit right now.
Oh man.
Of course, because you can switch out between the heavy version of the plasma or the regular version. It's got the multi-part plasma rifles. Definitely, I almost wish I had been building the easy build kit right now, because you guys know assembly is not my forte. I would much rather be painting any day. But do what it do, right?
Do what you do, bro.
So I'm gonna grin and bear the assembly part, even though it's not the part of the hobby I enjoy, and it's gonna be worth it when I have some badass Hellblasters there for my Ultramarine gun line. Other than that, other hobby progress. So not a lot of painting, 2 figures this week, right? So lightweight week on the painting side and the building side, but the gaming side, we got
man
for you this week. Sometime this week, dude. That game was a lot of fun. Saturday, Freak and I played 1750, and I mean, I was pretty much 1750 right on the nose. I think you were pretty close. Yeah, I think
1752. Yeah, I was 2 points over.
Within 2 points.
Yep.
So I mean, we did real well. Usually we're like negotiating 15, 20 points at a time. But he was only 2 off. I was 1750 right on the nose, and it was just an overall really fun game.
Oh man.
I'm not going to give away anything that you might see in the battle report, but I will tell you that because I painted up 7 cavalry this year, this was definitely a very cavalry-centric list.
Very cavalry-centric, yeah, for sure.
The only thing that I didn't put in was some of my specialties like Canis or Herald or the Iron Priest on Thunderwolf, just because I was trying to maximize not only my bodies on the field of Thunderwolves. Well, I wouldn't even say maximize, because I didn't just equip them with chainswords or whatever. I went, hammers and fists and shields and whatnot, but I was still trying to save some points, with the characters each being about 200 points apiece. Okay, not all of them are that expensive, but still, it's a lot of point investment. And I also, for that same reason, didn't bring my newly painted Logan Grimnar, but he's definitely coming to the next game.
Nice.
I did bring Terminators. Those Terminators I painted up earlier this year. You guys might have seen the showcase. And they have, of course, we all know that they're not amazing in this edition, and they did okay. They very, very, very closely almost one-shot a Land Raider, which was neat.
No, it's not neat.
Huh?
Not neat.
But so they definitely put in some work. Did they do everything I wanted them to? You know, it might be a bit hit or miss, but overall, I still enjoyed using them. And the fact that they look that cool, and I got to take them after a long time of not having them painted, like we're talking years worth of not having them painted. It was great to finally take them to a game. So.
Yeah, well, you definitely had, like you said, you definitely had a strong, mobile, cavalry centered army, and I knew it was going to be tough. Like you said, not to give anything away, but I definitely wanted to do everything I could to keep those guys off my tail because I've run into your cavalry before, and no bueno, no me gusta.
I do feel like this is the best you've dealt with them, though. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, knowing how are the play styles, and knowing that you like to drop stuff off about 9 inches away from my backside, and me no likey, and stuff like that, and just I have to be more prepared. Pretty much prepared for anything. You just never know. So.
And that was really cool to see. Freak has definitely grown as a player over the years, because before he would have complained about me being on his back line, but he was still learning. But you could definitely tell that frustration and experience came into play here, because I mean he has definitely learned about screening and anticipating deep strike and stuff like that. He did a great job.
Screening or screaming? Because I kind of did both.
Yes. Yes, you were good at all of those things. All right. Another thing we did this week is we had a great game of D&D. That was some other great hobby progress.
Yeah, it was.
Like, really good. In fact, I would say that this was our best episode of D&D yet in this series. Actually, as far as like straight up D&D and not like something similar to D&D, I think this may have been my favorite episode of D&D ever.
Dude, this was probably the best scenario we've played, and I don't know ever. I mean, it was just so fluid. We had so many choices. We had so many options, and you just never know how it would turn out. Crazy.
What was your favorite moment from D&D this week, Freak?
Oh man, favorite moment. Gosh, okay. So there were a couple actually. One of them was, of course, we went to go. We had a task to do, which was to find this girl. It was a sister of this young. What was a demi-human, right? And so basically, long and short is that we need to go find her body because apparently she had been killed, and we need to find her sword, put her to rest, and that kind of stuff. Well, the thing is, we were encountering some kind of ghost or shade of that resembled her, and she was and also there was a black knight that would come and challenge the people from the town that we were at. So anyway, so we had to see if we could put an end to it. So as we were going into the forest, it got really thick with this green fog. Well, Mythos, being his character, being this adventurous that he is, fearless as he is, decides he was to just, I'm going to go forward. And I was like, well, before you do, because the green fog was so thick, you could hardly see, beyond maybe 3 feet. That's how thick it was. It was so bad. And so we didn't want to lose each other. So let's tie a rope around his waist and, go on ahead and scout it out. And then, when you're ready for us, pull on it so we can come to you. So he goes off, and somehow, he manages to get to the mouth of a cave, and he tugs on it. So we feel the tug, and it was like, all right, let's go follow him now. And as we were following him, instead of 1 rope, 3 ropes show up. merging into one. I'm like, what the heck? So
Some
we
real
didn't.
Are You Afraid of the Dark stuff there.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on? So we started freaking out. Oh no! So we start tugging on him, and he's not understanding. Because we're yelling at him, and hey, Merrick. Merrick is the name of his character. Merrick, can you hear us? Couldn't hear us. And he's like, well, tug a little bit, and so we start walking a little more, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. All of a sudden, we hear Merrick say, yell from the far left side, "I'm over here," and then from the right side, "Just follow my voice." I'm like, oh no, this is okay. No, we're not doing this. So we already knew there was something evil going on with this whole, woods and the fog and all that stuff. And so, I would talk to the group and I said, guys, we need to get him back here. He doesn't even know what's going on. We need to pull him back. He obviously can't hear us, and we can't hear him. And so we start to, tug on the rope. And he just looks at the rope like, what the heck? Why are they pulling on the...
said, just drop the rope and ditch me.
Trust me, one of the party members, like Nina chick, she was ready to go. Like, nah, let's just go. Let's just go. And so, like, no, we got to pull him in. We got to pull him in. And so, because I'm the paladin, I'm the protector, right? I'm like I feel like I'm charged to protect him anyway. So finally, I said, okay, guys, we need to band together, get our strength together, and just yank them in. And so we did, man. We just grabbed the rope, and between me and Varian, his brother, we just yanked the rope. He goes flying, getting dragged through the forest as we're pulling him in. And so he's like, what the heck? And so the whole time, as he was getting closer, I could see that it was Merrick, his character, but the other two characters saw skeletons, and Nina, her character, just starts freaking out, just goes into this panic, and it was like, oh man. So that was kind of the funniest part. And of course, there were some times when I'm telling Merrick, don't listen to those voices, because he heard this girl call, help me, and there is no thinking. There he goes. He's gone.
Yep.
It's a trap. You hear him say, I don't care.
And, even though as a player, I knew that was the dumb thing to do, as far as the characters and backstories that we had written out, that was the only option for Merrick.
Right.
Must save the women. That's right. If anyone asks, he made a noble sacrifice. What happened to Merrick? Did y'all ditch him in the woods? Nope, he made a noble sacrifice.
Open.
It was so noble.
Oh,
what exactly did we do? We'd rather not relive the horror right now.
that was pretty fun.
I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed, staying in character, even though, like I said, the smart thing to do would have been something else, like just kind of staying, with the theme of my character, and Gone and I, Freak and I, his character's name is Gone. Freak and I had written this whole backstory because our GM had asked us for, what's y'all's backstory, and so we ended up writing out this whole, movie style scenario where we're both ex-soldiers, right? I'm a former knight.
Did you ever read that? Didn't you ever read that to the group? I thought we did.
We never ended up reading it because we were going to do it as a separate video.
Oh yeah.
And then you and I just trying to get the time to film the separate video. It's been tough to get that time.
Right.
We need to set up a time to do that over like Skype or something. Or not Skype, but like this platform right here. Yeah. Just do it online. But basically, when a town was under siege by a bunch of orcs, and we were outnumbered, the smart thing would have been to withdraw behind the walls of the castle and, attack them from the walls and, tactical retreat, attack from higher ground kind of deal.
Right.
But there were still people out in the village, so we have in our story this what's called the Ride of 100 Companions, where a contingency of the army that we were in decided to ride out and make a noble sacrifice and try and mount a charge to rout the forces attacking the village outside the walls, understanding that it's the more dangerous route, more dangerous thing to do. And that was good wisdom, because only a handful of us ended up surviving that in our backstory. And but in that, our characters kind of made the decision that if there's someone that could be saved, we'll die trying. And that I felt the need that needed to continue on with that part of the story there.
Right.
So it was very cool to stay in character, and Freak ended up saying something interesting that not only was it very in character, but he said that if he could see that if we were actually faced with a situation like that, knowing that it was the dumb thing, he said that he could still see me running off like that if I felt like someone could be saved. So
Yep.
that was neat.
I believe it wholeheartedly. I can see it.
Which doesn't work out so well for my wife, because ever since, when we were first dating and talking about movie choices and movie tropes and stuff like that, she's always said, even before she realized that I have this stupid hero complex, that one of the tropes she can't stand is when the characters make a backstory live stream. Yeah, I guess so. Is when the characters make the retarded, unnecessary self-sacrifice. She calls that the chump sacrifice.
Gosh. That's right.
And so,
like, what a chump!
My personality is I'm full of Trump sacrifices. In different things like that. Like, that's always been a weakness of mine.
If it's necessary, sad, but I get it. But like, if there's another way to go about and get pretty much the same result.
I agree. And the thing is, he didn't even give us time to consider any other options. It's like, I hear a lady in distress.
Good night, Al.
Onward I go. Wait, he's gone. Oh my gosh, he's gone. Wait, can somebody talk? No talking. He's gone. All you see is just a little dust trail and then fog. He's gone.
Darklight says, so is the main character of a certain book series we both love.
Okay, are you talking about Dresden?
I believe he is.
Yeah, but even Dresden considers things, It's like he tries to take precautions. There was no precaution. This was, I hear someone in distress. Onward. Onward where? What are you gonna do? What are you prepared to do? What? You
just go that way. The cave is that way. I'm running off to save this. Wait, no, you didn't have to.
Exactly. I said, Merrick, it's a trap. You know it's a trap. I don't care. Just someone in distress. Onward. Oh my gosh.
I said it very likely is a trap, but it's still there's a possibility it's someone that could be saved. And those trolly ass spirits kept showing me somebody that I was like 30 seconds too late to save. So Darklight's character came with me and made sure I didn't do anything overly stupid, and I came back at a decent time, though. Inquisitor Zane says, just go around saving random women, then your wife will be jealous and you could put herself in danger and you could save her.
Waffling. Don't do that.
My wife definitely doesn't like damsels in distress and abhors the idea of being a damsel in distress.
Yes.
You guys may have heard our get-together story, though.
Karen Murphy?
She, my wife has a gold medal in breaking things in Tong Soo Do, and yeah, she is definitely a full-fledged martial artist that can take care of herself. She's a Murphy, absolutely.
On my purifier.
Where did I just put that Caliban green?
Ooh.
That's Dark Ancient Spirit. That is too translucent for what I need. I just had it. Here it is. Hire an assassin to try and kill her and kill him. I see no flaw in this plan. And then maybe I don't have to pay him. Look, babe, I saved you. What's this receipt? Nothing?
That's Whataburger.
I bet you could take on a highly trained John Wick looking dude. Sure, I could. Sure. You know, okay, funny story about that. Man, this really is the backstory live stream.
Right.
My wife will not let me forget that there was this time where my brother Daz and I got so inebriated, and we wanted to go out and adventure while we were inebriated, and she was doing the smart thing and just trying to keep us confined to the apartment so we could, you know, we couldn't get into too much trouble in our inebriated state. And Daz started with, I mean, we're two tough sons of bitches. We can take care of ourselves. And I was like, yeah. And you know what? I went to military school, so I'm basically
I'm a soldier.
I said, I'm basically Jason Bourne.
He was serious.
I was
about
serious.
It.
Apparently, she says I spent 20 minutes trying to convince her that I'm basically Jason Bourne.
Dead serious about it.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh, no, dude, that's awesome. Please tell me you have video or pictures, or I mean, that's gotta be hilarious.
No video or pictures.
Oh, dang it. That'd have been awesome.
Apparently, though, the group thought that was the most hilarious shit. Was me sitting there seriously trying to convince my wife why I'm like Jason Bourne, and I should be able to go out into the public no matter what kind of state I'm in. That seems like a little bit more than alcohol, mate.
It might have been.
Nope, that was straight up. Daz and I had a 24 pack of Shiners and split it down the middle. Freak, have you been selling drugs to him again? I forgot that was a running joke.
Well, I mean, you know, he gets a little anxious and he's on the road a lot. Anything that could help. Just saying.
So, yep, good times, good times. My favorite part is, you know, that we well, a couple of them. We finally, by the way, Darklight, if you got a chance, I know you're going to work soon, but you know, type down in the description below what your favorite part of this week's episode was. But a couple of things, we finally got to resolve things with the spirit of the sister that we had been trying to track down. I mean, would I have rather that we got there in time and saved her? Absolutely, but still, the fact that we got that resolved and taken care of and finished up that arc.
That was tough because we were fighting a skeleton of a minotaur that had been reanimated, and that sucker was not going down.
Yep. And then I had been trying to spare the shade of that sister because we knew it wasn't her fault and that her soul was trapped by the necromancer. We could tell, but I had been trying to not attack her, but she was.
He wasn't doing the same thing for us.
Killing some of the group, and so eventually, the party started attacking her too. I kid you not. I was about a half second away from attacking Freak's character.
Well, I had to fear her because she was, we needed to find out.
That was cool.
Yeah.
She had a high chance to overcome that fear roll. The turn goat or turn evil. But Freak managed to roll really well, and she fled with everyone, along with the other possessed spirits. So that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, she was just, and I knew that there's just no way for the safety of the team. We had to attack her, and of course, Mitha's character was just so, he was all about trying to save whatever that was left of this girl,
especially since I felt personally responsible.
Right.
She was a slave. We saved her and her brother and bought their contracts. And, she went back to her village and, we were like, well, let's go negotiate for these people. So that way the kingdom stops trying to capture them and make them slaves.
Yeah.
And we tried to do it the diplomatic route. And in doing the diplomatic route, we got to their village too late. They ended up being kidnapped and taken to the slave markets, but we ended up doing the kingdom a favor and getting all of them set free. So it's like we did a great job, but in the capturing, we got there too late and she fell in battle, which of course made me feel horrible. Because I was like, man, if we had decided to go to the village first, instead of going to the town and trying to work this out diplomatically,
right,
we could have saved them. And so by setting, ironically, if we had left her with the slaver, she probably would have been beaten and, ridden hard by the slave driver, but probably alive. So in a way, by setting her free, we really sent her to her death.
Wow, that's kind of a morbid way of seeing it, man. Jeez,
so that's why I took it so personally. I'm like, wow, we kind of in our helping meddled and sent this girl to die. So yeah, my character took it pretty hard, knowing that by helping the slaves, we kind of killed this one girl. So, also another one of my favorite parts. I have this magical whip we got from her slave driver, and it is my mid-range weapon. I'm awesome with an axe, like a good old space wolf when I'm up close. When I'm mid-range, you can't reach them with my axes, though. My magical whip tears some stuff up, which I got from her previous slave owner.
Right. Now, we're understanding that this is the same whip that busted the backs of all these other slaves, right? Yeah, just to let you know. Okay. Go on, continue. Yeah.
Anyway, so we got to the Minotaur, and there was what appeared to be her living, not actually as a ghost this time, fighting this Minotaur, and this undead Minotaur. And of course, I couldn't reach him with my axe, so I unfurled my magical whip, and I'm like, it's time to go all Belmont. I unfurl my magical whip, and the GM goes, Tiana flinches. And I was like, wait, slavery, no!
Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
Joking, but it definitely paused me in this big dramatic description that I had.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was pretty epic, man. That was pretty
But at the end, so my emotions were further played with, because at the end, what appeared to be the living version of Tiana was actually the necromancer in disguise. And so she dropped her glamour about halfway through the fight with the undead Minotaur and proceeded to attack us and nearly kill us. And anyways, I ended up getting the last hit on the witch. It was cool because Darklight is playing a mage knight, and so I was able to sense where she kept um, striking us and teleporting away, and striking us and teleporting away. Well, eventually, my character was the first to pass a perception check to see where she was fading to, and so I found out where she is, called it out. Darklight turned around and cast a firebolt in the direction of the doorway she was hiding to, and set the whole witch on fire. And when my turn came back around,
Burn the witch.
For not only, I mean, for everything, for basically playing to my constant frustration that we didn't get to save these people on time, for desecrating the body of a friend of our characters, I was furious. And the cool thing about our GM is that when you kill something, he lets you describe whatever kind of way,
Yeah.
How you did it. And normally, if you say I'm going to do something specific, like aim for a headshot, you got to make you got to make a special roll. Like, okay, well, you're going to have a +2 difficulty with this. But our GM is real laid back, and just if we rolled. If it turns out that you were going to kill this person, you just describe what you did.
And he embellishes too.
Like, you got the last hit on the witch. What'd you do? And I decided to go all Belmont. So I unfurled the magical whip, whipped it around the witch's neck, pulled her to me, and clotheslined her damn head off. And it was such a great feeling. They are telling a grim tale, and here we are just passing around Popeyes. Zay, you're my kind of dude, man. We almost had a Popeyes night tonight here, too. Would have been crunchy Palo Loco. The only thing that made me decide not to do that is I just had a recent pancreatitis scare, and I decided maybe the grease wouldn't be the best thing tonight. But, man, kind of wants Popeyes now. Darklight says, Zane, share, please. I always ask all of you to share your food. I should have known this day would come. I will give you 1 honey packet and a single shrimp. Darklight says he'll take what he can get. It's hilarious. But yeah, that was such a cool feeling. Whipping around the witch's neck and clotheslining her damn head off. Darklight says, I'm always a fan of surreal haunting scenarios in RP, so all these creepy parts were my favorite. And there was a lot of cool creepy parts. So yeah, D&D this week was lit. Definitely my favorite episode so far. So yeah, I mean, we haven't done a ton of painting, guys, but we had a pretty productive hobby week in general. If you count, the fact that we did finally get in a 40K game, our third game of the year, so pretty stoked about that. And then the fact that we had a great D&D session this week. So, definitely. I mean, some definite cool stuff. And then currently, I'm working on my wife's D&D miniature right now. All right. So that is our hobby progress this week. Isn't it the best when Papa Mythos shares his stories with us? That's what I like to do, guys.
Tell me another one story, Daddy.
Where did I put my leather brown? All right, Freakalicious. I can see you're at an airbrushing point now.
Yep. Let me clean my brush real quick, and I'm gonna head to the computer here.
Okay. Right on. So in that case, next up will be our art of the week. What, babe? Okay. And maybe I'll find what I did with this freaking brown.
Okay. All right, let me pull up the art of the week.
All right, so like I said, one of them is going to be a really neat Imperial Fist Executioner tank, brand new Executioner. By the way, we can't get to emo without Atomic. That's fair. That's fair. His reactions to Chaplain EMO are always the best.
So, really cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm going to definitely want you to be able to speak on some of this. So you might have to roll back over. But so this, guys, is a process where what they did is they took and I'm horrible because I don't know anything about Blood Angels, but they used the Blood Angels red primer here and undercoated the whole thing Blood Angels red. But then they went and took their airbrush and they airbrushed white all over all the high points and midpoints of the red primer. Of course, going a little more brighter with the white and all the hot spots that they want to be pure bright yellow. And then in the end, they went back and airbrushed yellow all over the thing and kind of translucently built up those layers. So,
Okay, so coincidentally, I noticed that Kenny Boucher does that, and so I've been watching his videos, and that's kind of what I'm doing with these cavalry. So he starts out with a black model, and then he paints like the top kind of like a grayish blue, and then he does the gray, and then he starts building it over and over. And I was watching another video that he was doing because I'm working on my Space Wolves, and one of the things
that right there is pretty common to do a zenithal with
sure
black and then grays and then up to your whites. It really threw me off though to see instead of that the buildup from a bright ass red.
Right. Well, yeah, and well, it's still similar because red is still a darker color to the yellow, right? And so, like for example, he did a Space Wolf model, a mini, and then he started from black, and then he worked his way with a dark blue, and from top down, and then a lighter blue, and then even lighter blue than that, and then a hot white. I mean, he just built it up over and over, and it kind of course, we're talking about a miniature of a space marine versus an entire tank, but the concept is the exact same. Is changing the perceptive image of that particular model by layering the multiple buildups of the pigment to a brighter color to make it look like, oh, this is a blue model. Like, for example, you look at that model there, that tank, man, that tank, it's yellow. But in essence, it has red, it has orange, it has, yellow and some highlights. So it just looks really good. I'm really considering doing that for my next tank. I may do it on my Sikaran. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, I like it a lot. What I don't like is that I just had Dan Leather Brown out here yesterday. What the hell?
I can't find it.
But yeah, so that is, I mean, and you guys don't, I'm not the biggest fan of yellow in general. And I am not a huge fan of, and I mean no disrespect to your work, Freak. In fact, your work is one of the few instances where I actually think the combination looks good, but there are so many fists I see out there where their particular combination of yellow and red, it's just too bright, and it's too much. It's doing the most. And this combination here, where it comes out more of an orangey transition than any of the red really showing through, I mean, I think it looks great.
Yeah, and most people use like burnt umber instead of red. But I kind of like the transition from red to, to this yellow. It looks really good. All right, so tell me about this knight. I think I know who this one belongs to.
Well, I think from what I read in the messages, I'm not sure. There was some misunderstanding. So our buddy Lars was playing an event called Warzone Houston, I think. I'm not sure, but that is Lars's big war boss on bike there. Very cool. Good to see that one of his orcs made it into the promotion pictures from Warzone Houston. I may have the name completely wrong, but I'll check back through my messages. But one of the things that really stood out to me is while I love Lars and his work, his orcs definitely look cool. His Sisters of Battle look awesome. But one thing that really struck me is that a completely white knight, actually, that looks pretty good, because white is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, big time.
And this whole knight looks really good. It's very clean. Sure, there is not an abundance of shading here, but the fact that they managed to paint all this white and look so clean without any of the paint buildup, it looks super clean.
Right.
And that white and glowed is very striking together. I do wish they had done something with that shield on the front, because it's like one plain flat shield surface where everything else looks detailed and interesting, But I mean, overall, I thought that was pretty cool looking white knight, and something from here on our hometown of Houston, baby. I thought it was a good representation,
Yeah, no, I think.
Warzone Houston, I got it right. Okay, cool. Here I am, not just blaspheming.
Okay, so next one. From Yak. Okay.
Shout out to Lars. Dave says that orc biker looks cool. Speaking of Imperial Knights, I happen to see this one on the Instagrams. And I don't follow this person. I just I follow the hashtag Space Wolves. And this popped up, and I thought it was really cool. It is a little much on the details for me. You guys know I like my stuff looking very clean, kind of simply color schemed.
A little busy. Yeah.
It is a little busy for just my particular tastes, but I like a lot of the individual components as opposed to, I mean, overall it does look very striking. It may not be my style, but it does look very striking. I wouldn't personally do mine this way, but it does look very good. But all the individual components, I mean, that red-black triangle striping that is so signature to Space Wolves, the claw, all of the way that the blue or the gold is trimming that Space Wolves blue, just it looks very cool. A lot of the Space Wolves accoutrement hanging off of the Avenger cannon there, definitely cool stuff. Very thematic, I think, the way the red-blue triangles are done all the way over to, making this very obviously like I work with the Space Wolves. This is a Space Wolves night. I think for me, and when you have too many really bright colors that go together, that's where it starts to lose it. By the way, I love that Great Wolf decal there on the shoulder. Just another further sign that, hey, this is a Space Wolves model. But I think the addition of the yellow hazard stripes and yellow nuclear symbol, that I think is where it just starts to get into the too busy area for me, because you got the blues that are pretty bright, you got the reds that are pretty bright, you got the yellows that are pretty bright. I think it clashes a little bit, but like I said, I love the components of this piece. Altogether, it does look a little busy.
Yeah, he did a great job with the detail. There's no doubt in my mind. But when you put too much, you're getting close to making it look like a Mardi Gras float.
Also, I love the fact that the fold there underneath his belt, you know, the hanging piece is usually a flag.
Right.
I like that they replaced that with wolf pelt or bear pelt or whatever. That's pretty cool. It's kind of like what you get on Bjorn, just that hanging bear pelt. But like I said, very cool overall.
Okay, who this is?
This is somebody's converted Primaris captain that they made from an aggressor. I'm not sure where they got that little Gatling gun from, but it looks very cool. But yeah, so instead of the sword, you know, they even went for kind of the pose, you know, where a Primaris captain has the sword held high in one hand and the bolt storm gauntlet in the other. Kind of a really cool kit bash and conversion by holding an axe up the same way the captain will hold the sword up, and the other gauntlet is like a power fist or kind of like a kit bash your own bolter storm gauntlet with that little Gatling. And I think the little Gatling look to it just kind of really gives it that look of, you know, this gauntlet's about to throw out a ton of firepower.
Freehand there.
Yeah. The shoulder pauldron is a little bit of freehand there. The axe is a axe from the Wolfen set, and that fur pelt around the neck of the Space Marine there is pretty cool too. And I think that whole cape is green stuff. So a lot of cool conversion work here. Man, I love these Army Painter mixing beads. So really cool conversion. I saw the opposite this week. That was pretty cool. A Chaos Knight with Fenrisian wolves attacking it and hanging off of it. Okay, well, while I don't like the idea of a Chaos Knight stomping through my Fenrisian wolves, I definitely can appreciate that. That sounds pretty cool. By the way, I read your comment earlier, Dave, but welcome to the chat, Dave. Good to see you this week. You guys know how new Army Painter paints are. Got to shake the bejesus out of it. Still getting a bunch of medium out. Army Painter's the worst about making me wish that I had a paint shaker.
Oh man!
Or just get one of those medical paint a vial shakers
like Phil
has. Yeah. It had a wolf climbing up on the gun and was holding it like a captain in its fist. Interesting. That'd be really cool to see. If you come across the picture again, like tag me in it. Instagram or Bookface or whatever. Okay, I could not find my awesome Vallejo leather brown, so we're going with Monster Brown by Army Painter, which actually, even though it wasn't exactly what I wanted, actually looks pretty good. All right, so I guess that's all of our art of the week, my brother.
Everything.
Sweet. Well, you know, it's just about time. Sweet Zane's going to try and find it for me. It was on Instagram. It's just about time for our GW news. Normally, this is where we would get some weekly encouragement.
Right.
Think we should hold off and see if a special guest comes on.
Who? Our friend Brian?
Yeah, just in case he happens to pop on. I know it's his favorite segment of the week, you know.
Yeah, or we can always blow it on again. Back. He loves it.
True.
Yeah, let me layer this real quick and go into the next.
Sweet. So, guys, there was quite a bit of GW news out this week. Zane also says we need Atomic. Yeah, although he may have something else going on tonight. We can always come back to it if he if he drops in on us later this evening. Who knows the way he feels about him? He may be waiting out the Chaplain EMO segment.
Let me clear this airbrush.
Like maybe if I show up after 9:30, maybe they'll be done with Chaplain EMO by then.
Gangsta Gumbo. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of him today. All right, let's take a look.
Kenny Boucher is the reason why half of my Thunderwolves and Fenrisian Wolves are base coated in Fang blue gray instead of just straight black or gray or something like that. And I transitioned into the darker colors and lighter colors, is because he uses blue jean gray, which is kind of like Fang gray.
Oh, denim.
Yeah, it's a similar color, so that's why his tutorials are why I have half of my wolves done that way. I just really liked how his came out.
Okay. So
Since I said that, maybe Brian was trying to wait out Chaplain EMO. He says text it to him.
okay.
Brother Steve, good night, my brother. He says, good night, brothers. Have fun. I'll catch up later. Just leave the stream going, and in the morning he will get up and be confused why you're still going. He didn't run the segment. I like Zane's level of troll there. That's commitment to the joke.
War cry.
War cry. So lots. I think it officially comes out in the morning or something like that, but it's out. All kinds of YouTubers are unboxing it right now. A lot of the guys have access to the rules and stuff like that. The cards, heck, it might actually be out. I'm not positive. I did not see anything on the community website where it said officially out or whatever, but who knows? It definitely though looks really interesting. So it's a small skirmish game, kind of like Kill Team, kind of like Kill Team. It's a small skirmish game. There is a minor campaign aspect, but as quoted by the Redbeard boss, it's only like 3 pages of campaign. It's not very serious as far as campaign. It is not like Mordheim, like some people were hoping, where it would have a continuous campaign effect, where you would have like an injury roster and things like that, and wounds wouldn't carry over. Wow, this escalated. So you need to kidnap him, tie him to a chair, make him watch, and then you get to chill. Yeah. Then y'all can hang out and have a beer. So this is pretty cool. So which faction is this? Is this the Iron Golems or whatever? They look pretty cool. So this is one of the starter set factions. Those guys look really cool. I think they from the original set are my favorites. They just got this whole like gladiator thing looking. Both of them have kind of a gladiator thing looking going on there. But like I could see those other feral guys being like Fenrisian tribesmen, They look pretty cool. Oh, and then make him lick a brush when we have him tied up. So both, this looks cool. I know you're not, and honestly, I'm not really either, but I think that set right there looks really cool. The Corvus though are my favorite looking ones. I don't think they're in the starter set either. But they have ones that look like uh, a tribe of like Black Raven kind of guys. They're called the Corvus Cabal. They look really awesome. I'm actually really interested in being that you could get a game in with say 5 or 6 miniatures. That speaks to me. Um, and it's mostly combat oriented. There's very little shooting in the game. Overall, I think it might be something worth getting into, something that could be played in like an hour. Whereas sometimes, and don't get me wrong, I love 40K. But sometimes you don't always have 5 hours to knock out a game. And guys, I know that it's quoted that a 1750 game in 8th edition can be played in an hour and a half. That ain't us, guys. That is not us. Yeah, we are looking at like 5 hours to play a game. So anyway, so a small game like this with about 6 models, it seems very interesting to me. Plus, like I said, the detail on these miniatures, the Corvus Cabal guys, the Raven looking guys, so cool. They look like little tribal Raven, ninja warriors or something. Even those gladiator models look pretty cool. And then they even have some rules that they've released recently for some AOS Stormcast Eternal models and some Daughters of Cain. And y'all know I've had the urge to paint up some Stormcast Eternals and Daughters of Cain. So if I can get away with the whole army in like 6 models, hell yeah. Look at the level of detail on that terrain too, bro. I mean, hell, you could use that for this little skirmish game here, but how cool would our 40K games look with that level of terrain?
Be a good game against Death Guard.
Say what?
Get Death Guard.
Oh yeah. Or even if this were just like some planet that both armies happen to show up on, right? It's just like, hey, this is a creepy planet. Oh, hey, look at those Imperial fists. We need to fight them. That sounds like heresy. A loyal Imperial servant always has time when he's not praying to the God Emperor. You're right. You're right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like it actually comes with terrain, comes with the models and the mats, the placements for it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the Kill Team starter set boxes, where you get a couple of starter forces, you get the terrain. It's kind of an expensive box. I can't remember if it's like 100, 150, but it's 2 whole armies and all the terrain you need to get the game going. So it's pretty neat. There's some pretty cool unboxing videos out. Our friends at Wargamer Online bought the starter set. So overall, I mean, I think it definitely, I don't know. I mean, definitely would seem like a good investment to be able to play with it. Look at those are the stat cards. Kind of like your stat cards from a codex. It comes in a deck of cards, and those are all the stats you need. So instead of having to get a whole big book out, you just got a deck of cards to get your stats. Pretty cool. The ever lovely Becca Scott did a how to play simple 10-15 minute video on how to play the game, what movement's like, what's combat is like. I'm going to link it to you at some point, Freak, because it definitely seems like an interesting thing. The only thing is that I'm not sure I want to commit until I know I've got somebody that's going to be willing to play. And I'm not trying to pressure you in any way. Like I said, somebody, not just you, but
That's cool.
But I mean, definitely seems really interesting. And like I said, the fact that it's a small, easy to play game, from what it looks like. Again, I am not necessarily saying that it will be because I don't have any experience, but so far it looks easy to play. And I don't know, it just seems like it could be a cool little thing to have up a couple of, again, 6, 7 model armies on the side when you want to pull out. Somebody comes over, hey, let's have a chill game kind of deal.
All right.
So very cool.
Eisenhorn. We have Eisenhorn.
Eisenhorn. All right. So this kind of and we've got some other GW news too. We'll kind of come back to, but this kind of has to do with our main topic for today. So Eisenhorn is getting a television series, and I love all the memes that are coming out because Eisenhorn is with the Inquisition, and people are all like, man, as always, when you're not expecting it, bam, the Inquisition's here. Which is true. Nobody I know of saw a television series coming out, but here it is. I'm excited for it because, I'd love to watch something, especially, does it say who's making it? I almost hope it's Netflix because then you'll know it'll be a win.
Product, so
But yeah, so a television series about Eisenhorn, one of the most interesting, mysterious people in the Inquisition. So very interesting to those of us that favor the Imperium. And what I really like about that is that it's just another further sign that things are going more mainstream, right? Let's see. So maybe drop it in the description. Would like to see that too. You know what? I will. I assume you're talking about the Becca Scott How to Play Warcry video. I'll make sure to put it in the come back and put it in the description. But it says there are no chill games in 40K. That's true. That's true. So Thomas, good to see you, my brother. Thomas says, sorry I'm late to the party. Pop, you're a good man. You're excusable. Atomic Dog, on the other hand, is in trouble. Thomas just got off work. Man, it sounds like a long day, my brother.
Man, right?
Papa Mito's going to pull out the belt when Atomic Dog gets here. He missed the bit where he complains about emo, and it's funny.
We just send emo to his house.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, an Eisenhorn, so an Imperial Inquisition television show. That sounds pretty awesome. And like I said, this year alone has really seen some things go towards the mainstream direction with Warhammer 40K. I mean, a TV series. We've had more video games that were a little higher in quality. I mean, admittedly, I love the 40K games, but some of them have been a little on the let's just put out the Warhammer name and make some money kind of games. But the games that have come out this year seem pretty cool. Like they really put some work into them. Some of the other things that are more mainstream, of course, they've come out with Warhammer Monopoly, Warhammer Munchkin, more traditional board game type stuffs, right? They've put out the Pops, the Funko Pops.
The Funko Pops.
You can't tell me Funko Pops aren't a sign of it going mainstream, for sure. Just and then the books for kids, Warhammer Adventures, right? All these things are really pointing towards a more mainstream Warhammer 40K.
Yep, and now a TV show. That's crazy.
Yeah, now a TV show, absolutely. So with that, though, some people are kind of complaining because it is more mainstream. But to me, it's more inclusive. It's going to get more people playing. And by having more people playing, of course, we're more likely to, have more people to play, right? It's going to be, and then a lot of people I've seen kind of actually hide their Warhammer kind of hobby, right? They don't like telling people that they paint little toy soldiers or that they like to play them in a board game, right? Some people I've heard that, don't tell their significant others about it, that they might be dating somebody for, several months before they find out,
closet gamers.
Huh?
closet gamers, you know.
Right, closet gamers, absolutely.
I mean, heck, we went how long before we realized that, you know, we both played World of Warcraft, remember?
Oh, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. So I'm walking by his desk, and something had messed up on our team, and I was safety manager, and he was assistant site manager for the site, and so it was something something I could relate to both of our job duties, and so I'm like, look, there's no need for her to feel like we both dropped the ball on this. I'm going to go in there and take boss aggro. He said, "Did you just say aggro?" Well, yeah. You play WoW? Yeah, do you play WoW? Did we just become best friends?
Yeah, that was when we knew. Yep. That was something else. Okay.
Let's see. More normies means more people finding chaos cool, but that means more heresy. All I see is more Imperial Knight players. They look cool and are great in game. I see more freaking Tau players. I will never forget 7th edition, playing my game, and then that same summer, so many new people came into the game shop I was playing at, and people were like, what's an easy army to win with? And people were like, oh, Tau. And man, I faced so many Riptides that summer. So many Riptides. It's not even funny. Like, so many Riptides. I'm still not over the trauma. And then I just watched another battle report. Tau versus, and I called it, okay? I called it when Chapter Proof came out this year. I said, Riptide Wings coming back, guys. And they're not going to be that big of a deal. This guy brought a whole Riptide Wing, 2 Ghost Keels, a Forge World Yavara. Yeah, the other guy had no chance. Not even a little bit. And I was like, man, it's that Riptide Wing gun line. Like, it's just... Yeah, you better push that Fox Tau under the desk, Thomas. Feeling betrayal right now, Thomas. But yeah, so anyways, people kept coming into the shop and buying up Tau. And yeah, I was facing Riptide Wings all summer. And you know what? It lived up to its hype. Like, brand new people were buying these boxes of Riptide Wings, and they were winning. I was getting my ass kicked all the way up and down the street. So, I mean, they asked for what wins. That was working at the time. And I don't feel like it's any more difficult here in 8th edition to run a Riptide Wing and get good results. I'm not saying take first place in tournaments. And people, anytime I talk about how tough Tau are, people are like, oh, but if you ran this tournament list, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, I'm not talking about all that. I'm saying in casual play, unless I am bringing a Castellan Knight list to every casual game, that's not what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about the everyday, let me just play my army like and I'm not saying there's no excuse to not try and do better and get good, right? But it's just, why do I need to put in the research and put together a tournament style list when somebody can just bring 3 Riptides? And don't get me wrong, I see in a lot of play, especially high level competition play, that people just outplay a Riptide Wing list and score more objectives. I don't find that satisfying at all. I don't feel like there should be an army where it's just not possible to outkill them. Like, if I win by technicality, but I got slaughtered the whole game, that doesn't feel satisfying to me. Oh, okay. You're good then, Thomas. You're good. It's just a commission freak. I think people will get the big models because they look cool as a showpiece. When they get into playing, they will play the game. They will use those. I think that even if they don't play, people will see the knights as cool and buy them. And when they get into the game, they will use their knight they bought. That's appropriate, freak. And actually, I'm not even at a salty level right now. Like, I'm more at bitter acceptance. Like, it's there. Tao gonna kill what Tao gonna kill. Quizzer says just a trap. Knights look good. Big fancy showpiece. Buy a knight. Keep playing knights. But even then, I feel like the Tau suits are worse because a Riptide comes with a 2-up save, right? At least a Knight is always a 3-up save with a maximum of 4-up invul save, right? Plus, Tau have all the shield. Imagine if you could shoot. I wish I could give shield drones to my Imperial Knight, right? Can you imagine being able to negate wounds on an Imperial Knight because of shield drones?
Oh, man,
That's another reason why I find that they're just so freaking frustrating. Mastodon full of Wolfen, absolutely. I'm loving how that project and your Astraeus project is coming along, Thomas. Man, you really need to get a channel going because I think people don't see very many Mastodons and Astraeuses, and I think those projects would really get some attention if you put that up on a channel. I know you're working like 52 hours a week. I mean, 52 hours a day.
62 hours a week or something like that.
52 hours a week is very light, actually, for even us.
Like 62.
52 hours a day is what I meant to say. And so there's no time in a 24-hour day for you to actually kick out a video. But I'm just saying, if you find the time, that's the kind of stuff people would love to see is those uncommonly painted items. And getting sidetracked here, man. I just painted up the face, and left the hands completely unpainted.
Oh man, I'm excited, dude. I'm actually painted these wolves, man, and I'm about to throw the little highlights on their paws and the back, and then do the black on their back, and then airbrushing. Man, loving it.
That's awesome, my brother.
Loving it.
I'm so excited to see how this comes out.
More white on there.
Why is it got to be about race? Red coat. Mixing together a little red tone with a little mid-tone brown. Mid-tone brown. Gets kind of an auburn wash going on here on I'm doing Lily's D&D model next. So get a little auburn going on. All right.
We were at
Let's see.
there was the special order stuff.
Huh?
Special order stuff, pre-order.
What's pre-order?
Hold on.
All right, so let's see. Zane says he's always wanted a Mastodon as a showpiece, but he doesn't have the money. I have a 3D printer. Maybe I will print one, but I don't know. I probably will do that for a wrecked one to be used as a terrain piece. That'd be a great terrain piece. Thomas says, Ambots, bigger eyes to 60mm bases and converted to Wolfen Dreads. Man, I'd love to see that. That would be really cool. I still have yet to make a Wolfen Dread. And I really want to make a Murder Fang, but I don't want it, and you guys know, like my Bjorn, I don't want to be like everybody else's Bjorn. I really want to make a I don't know why I have that either. I don't know. I just want different stuff, I guess. But I really want to make a Contemptor Murder Fang. I think that'd be pretty sweet. I'm looking at, and I want something, of course, unique. So I'm looking at, I want to say the Iron Hands. No, the World Eaters. Shaving off the World Eaters emblem and using the World Eaters Contemptor Dread for my Murder Fang. I think that'd be pretty epic. Zane says the best part of a printer, hand down, is making big, expensive models as Rex. Actually, so I have a Freak's brother, David, 3D printed out a Predator for me. It's pretty close to what a Predator looks like without the sponsons. However, I really thought it would make a great wreck terrain piece, and actually, it looks pretty cool. I've got it sitting in my box over there. I just never got around to actually finishing making it into terrain, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, I think my printer would have done perhaps a better job, except that it died. So disappointing.
Yeah. A while back, Freaks ported 3D printer bit the dust, and I mean he's looking around. We might get it going again at some point, but he's definitely interested in looking around for one. Let's see. Half tempted to print a Warhound as a wreck. That'd be pretty cool. Man, I'd like to see some of your 3D printer work, my man. All right, so here we are. It is 10 o'clock. We got about an hour left in the show, Freak. So,
we still have some news.
I'd say what?
We still have some news.
Okay, good.
Yeah, let me go over there. Hang on.
It's all good, man. Do what you're doing with them wolves. So, guys, Zane has brought up some pretty good points in that a lot of people getting into the hobby are going to want what looks good in the hobby, and so an influx of new people or casuals, like kind of like myself, an influx of casuals means they're going to probably flock to just what is immediately visually grabbing, and he thinks there's going to be even more knights in the game, and of course, that means more knight armies going to be a lot tougher to deal with. So having an influx of normies could be a influx of something difficult to deal with. So what are your guys' thoughts? Freak, what do you think of normalizing our hobby and having all these new people come into what we do?
Honestly, I think it's a great idea. First of all, it makes perfect business sense. It's a great marketing tactic for sure. But not only that, man, it definitely makes it more normal. It makes it more acceptable. I think it'd be great. Look, I can't tell you how many times I've run into people, say, "Hey, yeah, I play Warhammer." I've heard Warhammer, but the people that have heard Warhammer are people that have played the video game, not necessarily played the tabletop. And I'll tell them, "Well, there's a tabletop to this." Oh, so they made a tabletop after? No. The tabletop came first. The video game came way after. And when you explain it to them, they're like, "Oh, wow, that's kind of cool." And then when you show them the game, they're like, "Where has this been all my life?" So crazy.
Man. Yeah. Very similarly, and I didn't realize, of course, again, part of it's going a little more mainstream, but part of it's just that I have really cool neighbors. But I mean, it's this little thing we do that people have never heard of before. It can definitely feel a little isolated, but then like I was out priming a few models the other day, standing outside my doorstep, and one of my neighbors, when I went walking out my door later in the day, was like, "Hey, were you painting miniatures by any chance over there?"
No,
and I'm like, yes, I was. And it's like, "Hey, I'm building some terrain for a D&D set that we're playing on, and I was wondering if I could get your help in painting up some of this terrain for our D&D campaign." I was like, "Man, that would be awesome. Just let me know. I'm down, man." And then later on, same thing. A neighbor saw me out there priming again, and she's like, "Hey, is that Warhammer by any chance?" I'm like, yeah, it is." And she's like, "My brother's into Warhammer." And then later on, she and her brother were getting out of the car. She's like, Mythos, this is my brother, and he's apparently pretty new. He just got into AOS, so he's on the other side of Warhammer. But still, I mean, it's cool to find other people. Again, another sign that we're going a little more mainstream. Other people coming into the hobby. So you're sitting there airbrushing, and Zane has asked, "Are those wolves?" Is that a wolf?
Those are wolves, right?
Zane says he's okay with it. We'll just have to pull out my nights and other stuff, such stuff I have on my shelf. Right? Fight fire with fire. Ironically, I made a comment earlier today, and I don't know how serious I am. I guess it depends on my level of frustration at any given moment. But
do I need to throw up the salt?
no,
Okay.
no. It's just I was talking about these bloody Tau and how the other guy on that show, on that battle report, really had, even though he played well, and if you watch the series, he actually rolled well for him, and which is very rare. Kind of like, when Freak's on a hot streak, you're like, oh man, that's neat to see. And even with that, I mean, this dude, even with great rolls, this dude stood no chance. I mean, he just got slaughtered. And so, anyways, I was just like, man, it's just so the power level difference is just so crazy. Unless you're playing a tournament competitive list, there's no beating a list like that. Three Riptides, a Yavara, and the two Ghost Keels all had stealth drones. So it's like in most cases, to shoot them, you're hitting on 6s.
Oh.
Can you imagine all of your firepower from your Imperial Fist Freak only hitting on a 6?
No, I'd give up. There's no way. I wouldn't want to.
I mean, it's just crazy stuff like that. It's just like, really, like, why? Like, there's no point in even playing at that. I mean, to me, there's no point in even playing at that point.
That's exactly what I'm saying. There's no. I'd shake his hand and all right, bye. Start packing up my stuff.
Which is why I have my standing policy that at stores and stuff like that, I don't play Tau. Like somebody's, challenges me with a Tau list, I am happy to give them the victory or the win or whatever.
But we didn't even play. I know. Congratulations. Yeah, you win.
Congrats, you did a great job.
Nice.
But yeah, just so with that, I said to I think it was Archer earlier that, man, as frustrated as I am with Tau, I'm almost tempted to just give in to the imbalance and just, as a side army, have some Tau.
Shut up. Shut your mouth.
I know, heresy in my mouth. Doesn't even feel right. Oh, hey, he's got a 2-day tournament this weekend, 10 to 5 both days. Very nice. Man, what army you running, my man? Good luck. Let me know how that goes, man. I'd love a little recap in next week's show or something. You need it to get a second salt on the entire top is off, and all gets dumped out at once for when things get really salty really quick. That sounds like Xeno Heresy, and I'm not really planning on buying any Tau right now. I'm just saying that was just the thought process, just because it was just so imbalanced. Like, what does anybody else do? Like, what do you?
Oh, you really upset him now, man. Yeah, don't mess with the Inquisitor.
That's part of an unofficial agent of the Inquisition. It was all said in satire, my man. All said in satire.
He jests, indeed. He jests. So, are we gonna get back to the news, man? It's like...
See just I was reading the chat and it just got sidetracked into story time.
I know. It's like I was switching back. I was like, oh, he's talking. Okay, I guess we can go back to the main.
It's funny because currently that's me, just easily get sidetracked and often story time, right? What am I going to be like when I'm old and I'm supposed to, like that's supposed to be the old thing is sitting around and just nonstop story time like Cup from Transformers. I'm already like Cup with my story time. What am I going to be like when I'm old?
Like me. Senile. Are those wolves, right?
Speaking of what you described as freak old moments, about 2 weeks ago, I just gotten in the door from Beaumont, like 15 to 8, like 7:45. Just got in the door and had been home for 15 minutes. And Freak is like, dude, it's 3 minutes after 8.
You
I'm like, what the hell? I'm sitting there freaking out. Like, what do you mean the show's already up? What the hell?
Oh my God. So in my mind, I am panicking because here it is 8 o'clock. And I'm like, the guys are waiting. I'm waiting. Where are you? I got everything set. I mean, I did the Chaplain EMO. I did the Elstonation. And I'm thinking, man, why is he so freaking late? Is he mad at me? Like, did I do something? And I'm like, Mythos, are you coming? And then, like, the response was like, and I was like, he is mad at me. So, I completely. Go ahead.
Now I'm panicking. I'm like, what do you mean the show's already going?
It's because we had those 2 weeks off, right? Those 2 weekends off. And I completely forgot that our show starts at 8:30, not 8 o'clock. So.
Wolf Wraith, evening. Let it manage to catch you guys. Worth a 4 a.m. get up. Man, I am so sorry about how early the show is across the pond. Good morning, my man. Good morning indeed. Quizrating says, speaking of death, are you guys going to Area 51?
Absolutely.
To get the bird?
I don't know what that is, but yeah, sure, why not? We're going to storm Area 51. As a matter of fact, we're going to do it with just our jeans and a bow tie. That's our get up when we go to Chippendales, our second job. So.
All right. Whenever I think I'm done finally being sidetracked. Whenever you get a pausing point with the wolves.
Hey, what do you think so far?
Yes. Well, let me switch camera angles. Go back to appear in. Oh, dude, that transition looks great. That looks really great.
Yeah, Kenny Boucher, man.
I love his techniques.
Man, it's great work.
What are you using, by the way? I know you had thought about doing those with your new master touches.
I did. Well, actually, the blue, the blue gray that he said to use, I actually used the Master's Touches blue, sky blue, as a matter of fact. This stuff right here, and
cool.
That with a little black, and that kind of gave it that bluish tint on the fur. And then, oh man, dude, it really looks insanely good. This is, typically, and the one thing that I've learned from him, and he does one color to another color to another color. I've always gone from one color and then go to the complete opposite and just, highlight straight. The problem that I've always had is that I may make a mistake and may go too light. You know what I mean? Like if you're going from a darker color to a very light color, I go from like a dark, brown to a light, whitish, instead of going to the transition like he does. So, and that gives it a nice, translucent, transition in color. So it just looks really, really good, man. I like it. So, yeah,
Yeah, I definitely, and I've tried doing some of that. I got to work on my airbrush control a little more because I struggle with those transitions because to me it just either it's not visible at all
Mhm.
when I try and do the build up of transition like that, or I just go too far in one direction or the other. So
Okay, so let's go to the rest of the news. Yeah.
rest of the news. Zane says that looks great. That wolf or whatever it is looks great.
Jackass. All right. So what is this that you were that you sent me? It's a pre-order of elves and wolves
So it's a
and more.
whole bunch of stuff there. So starting, by the way, that I love that model for that worm or whatever it is. The way it's breaking through the ground, it's very cool. And I love the way each of those scales are highlighted. So cool looking. Whoever painted that did a great job. That white tree, by the way, also just very done. Whoever did that on the Warhammer team looks great. So some Sylvaneth. They're getting a coat.
Yes, they're getting that
Yeah, and
battle tone.
some endless spells there and stuff like that. Those look cool. Which is cool. Some AOS stuff. I mean, again, I don't know anything about the AOS stuff. It looks great. I keep saying I'm going to get into it one day.
Yeah, I would consider this before I would do that other war cry. I kind of like this. You know what I mean?
It looks awesome. The only reason why I suggested Warcry is because 9 models is way easier to commit to than an army.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, you're right.
But no, I definitely, like I said, that's the only reason I said it. But I mean, I am willing to commit to some Daughters of Cain or Stormcast Eternal or something. I mean, not that I'm already over here trying to paint up like 5 different armies, but
Yeah, there's
yeah. So really cool stuff. Some good endless spells there. Some pieces of terrain that you can interact with. I love that. And again, it's like that in 40K as well. Terrain pieces that have stats and stuff like that on it. I feel like the terrain with stats and the rules for the stats, from what I've seen on like online battle reports and stuff like that, it's more utilized in AOS, I think, to actually use the terrain with certain factions and getting certain bonuses. And I feel like it's just overall more part of the game than just being the breaking up line of sight and whatnot. Overall, it looks great though. Anyways, going down a little further though, so we've got the elf stuff, which looks great. They've been asking for a lot of that Sylvaneth stuff for a while.
This is
Wait,
Julia.
there was some other stuff in that pre-order.
Oh.
Wolves and Thousand Suns and stuff. It was it was like 3 different things that were ready for pre-order.
Okay, here we go.
So there's that Eldar Spirit Seer, I want to say. Do you see what that Eldar thing is? Does it have a name or something?
Let me look. Spirit Seer.
Okay, yeah. So the new Spirit Seer model. which is out, and I think it is in plastic finally, which I know before it was out and there was a metal version. I want to say there was a failcast version. Huh. I didn't know Thomas has 2 AOS armies already. I see so much of his 40K work. I had no idea. That's pretty cool.
Dude, they finally came out with the Primaris Space Wolves.
Primaris Space Wolves set.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's all the stuff you could get for them before, but like the specific guy from Tooth and Claw is in the box set. He's the battle leader that's Primaris specifically for Space Wolves, and he's one of the what people say part of the army of Primaris lieutenants, right? But he's the specific one, and then everything else isn't really Space Wolf specific, but it is stuff you can use in a Space Wolf army. So aggressors, intercessors, I think those are all just intercessors. So aggressors, intercessors, and the battle leader.
Right.
So not super specific, but I mean, I'm always down to see more Space Wolfy forces. So that's pretty badass to me. And plus, I mean, having a starter box like that is going to be more encouraging for people who play Space Wolves, to play Primaris, and it's going to be.
I'm excited,
right? And then it's also going to encourage people who play Primaris to play Space Wolves.
Right.
So I'm good with that both ways.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited, man. Because it's like I'm been waiting because I can try to go ahead and collect some of the older standards, but man, if we can get some Primaris, I mean, that'll match the rest of my armies. You got Thousand Suns.
Yeah, got the 1,000 Suns. So, our old enemy, they've got them some army specific an army specific box as well. So that's pretty cool. I don't know. I don't think they actually had their own. Whereas for us, we had boxes before, but we didn't have any Primaris boxes. I don't think the 1,000 Suns actually had their own starter box. It was kind of neat to see.
Nice.
So this is for Titanicus. I've mentioned this before on the show. I love the Knight Porphyrion, and the fact that there are many versions of those is very cool. Look at that detail, dude. Look at that detail.
Gorgeous.
So this is the largest knight you can get before going on to Titans and stuff like that. And I think that is, having this available in Titanicus is going to be small because you're in a game of different war engines and stuff like that, like your different Titans.
Right.
However, I think overall it's just going to look really great.
Cool, man.
I mean, think of that stand-in being bigger than an Imperial Knight. Doesn't that thing just look like it would be badass on the table?
I think so.
I want one day, dude. Not the Titanicus version. I want one of those actually.
Books, the stratagems, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Oh man, those are cool.
Let's see. Yeah, it was in Tooth and Claw. I think they have pads and decorative bit, right? At least the pads. Yes, they do have, the Space Wolves upgrade sprue. Also, one of the only start collecting boxes where you get a named character and not just a basic leader. That's a good point.
Nice.
That's a good point. Our battle leader is, I think his name's Haldor Icepelt. So we actually do have a named Primaris battle leader, which is very cool. Still close to a Dread in size. I kind of wish it had some form of arms.
Oh, instead of the guns?
The Titanicus version of the Porphyrion is still close to a Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even at a small scale, it's so much bigger than a regular Imperial Knight.
Is it bigger than Imperial Knight?
Huh?
Is he much bigger than Imperial Knight?
The Porphyrion?
Yeah.
Yeah, on a regular Porphyrion, not the Titanic
okay,
version.
thank you. Okay.
Yeah, it's bigger than Imperial Knight.
It's just like, don't
So
you
therefore,
ever speak to me
Titanic
or my son ever again.
Yeah, that would be cool to see.
And then Blood Bowl.
Got some Blood Bowl going on here. So some very cool wood elves. And they kind of have a Harlequin look going on there. But,
That's what I thought too, yeah.
But very cool. I mean, more elves in Blood Bowl. I don't really play Blood Bowl. I've had a game of Blood Bowl thanks to Brother Zai. But I definitely am not super knowledgeable on it, and I don't really keep up with it. But I mean, it's cool stuff. So if you are into Blood Bowl, you might consider picking that up, and you're into elves. Middle Earth strategy battle game, of course. Again, this is not one of the things I'm into, but I love the movies. I've never actually read the books, which I feel like I shouldn't be admitting as a nerd, but I've tried though. I just 6 pages of Hobbit holes. I get lost. Not that I don't appreciate the works and what they've done for fantasy nerddom in general. I appreciate the books a lot. I just am not able to read them myself. I am into elves as an army, of course. Clears my search history.
Oh,
you're right.
Search history.
Wolfray says, do audiobooks while painting. That's the best way. And, I think I will, because I have so much mad respect for Tolkien. And I do like the world and all the fantasy stuff that's come from Tolkien work. So while I may not be able to read it, I think, and that's how one of my favorite series ever is Wheel of Time. And I had that problem a little bit with Robert Jordan too, until I read heard a couple audiobooks and managed to get myself immersed. Because the writing styles of both, they're very descriptive. And again, I love what the idea of Tolkien's work, but like sometimes he'll be like, and this leaf was very significant because this one leaf had seen such and such happen in history, and yada yada when somebody rode by this tree 13 years ago, and go into it, and then never come back to that tree, right? And so it's like, why did I just read 14 pages about this tree that's never going to go up again? Anyways, so I think, audiobooks will probably be the best thing. Like I said, I love the idea and what's come from it, and I like the movies. And I know that, again, I know people are going to hate me. I understand that the movies don't hold a candle to the books. As a Lovecraft fan, I feel your pain. Okay, I could see that. Same thing with Lovecraft. I've never even attempted to read one of his books. I do like the idea of Lovecraftian things and, the different stories and games and things that have come from Lovecraft lore in general. I might have to do that as a audiobooks for Lovecraft's work too, though.
I actually have a book that's a collection of Lovecraft works.
Oh yeah, I've been interested to read that. I just have never gotten around to it.
Yeah, I want to read that too, but first I need to get through Wheel of Time.
You do need to get through Wheel of Time. X-Gear Commander. He says, it's been a long week, but hello all. Good to see you, my man.
Oh, welcome.
He immediately comes in and tentacles. Those Lord of the Rings models look amazing, by the way.
They do,
those
man.
3 models of Gandalf just look phenomenal. So much detail. Clear search history again to be safe.
So stupid.
Dude, yeah, those look great, dude.
He's so stupid. Yeah, there's a lot of detail in those models.
Yeah, like I think I would have a great time painting up a Gandalf. And it's cool because there's that extra layer. And again, I am aware that the books aren't, the movies don't hold a candle to the books.
Right.
But man, just being that I'm a big fan of the movies, I would love to just paint those up to be painting up a part of something that I enjoy watching.
Right. Totally, man. Totally.
Kind of why I want to get all these Force Heresy Primarchs and stuff like that.
Right.
Can I get them in game? No. Would they look awesome anyways? Yes.
Yes. We had a lull here.
Oh, I thought we were done talking about the models. I thought you were moving on to the next thing.
Oh no.
I was like, man, he must be having trouble switching over to the next thing. Real pros, guy. He's here. Real pros. So here we have a cosplay of Belisarius Call. I would say a femme version of Belisarius Call, but I mean, so much more machine than anything else at this point. I mean, can we really assume Belisarius Call's gender?
Just creepy. That is just straight up creepy.
That is so phenomenal. Although, looking at the cosplay, I'm so glad that I ended up cutting the tentacle, the weird stomach tentacle off of my own Belisarius Call.
Yeah, it doesn't look right. Just doesn't look right.
And back to tentacles.
Erase search history.
God, he says Belle Delphine tentacles. There's no point in deleting your search history if you're just going to share it with us.
Exactly.
Also, with us falling into the lull, Zane said, "Is that a wolf?" And then he said, "Speech.exe has stopped." All right, so yeah, this cosplay. I mean, all the details are there. The axe is on point. That hump on the back with the weird tubes and stuff like that. The ridge of metal. Every tube looks like it's in place. The Belisarius Cole pimp cane is in place. I mean, just everything is so on point. All that detail. I wonder how long it took her to put together.
Oh, that looks like a lot of work, bro. I don't care who you are. That's just a
Oh, yeah.
lot of work.
Hell yeah. Scroll down. Let's see if there's any info on
All
this.
right. Yeah, hang on. The attention to detail. That is ridiculous. Gosh.
Wow. Even the little arm with the keys.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm very fond of cosplay and enjoy creating sophisticated costumes. The more complicated it is, the more it awakens my creativity.
Man,
That's awesome.
that's some talent, I gotta say.
I first saw Belisarius Call in 2016, was attracted to the character's complex and interesting design, and because of that, I knew I wanted his history. I must say the method by which he became Archmagus Dominus impressed me. I like his viewpoints on life and everything that has happened to him. Very cool.
Wow. I mean, the
Like
whole
she
philosophy and
didn't
everything.
just say, "I like how this dude looks. Let me build a costume."
No.
She dove into the character and the history.
The whole philosophy of the character, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Dang, man. All right, let me see what else.
One day you guys will find all of my blocked comments from previous live streams and be so confused with them all out of context.
You shouldn't be using naughty words.
Thomas says the Inquisition stalled a keylogger. He's boned. Surely you're not using Inquisition resources for that research. Wow, all those little pads for the different joints and stuff like that. The skull, how impressive the skull looks.
Man.
I mean, this person could have just easily painted it like a bone white or an off white, right? But I mean, look at that. You can see every ridge in the skull's design. I mean, this would look like an impressively painted skull on a miniature, doing it on a big surface and still getting all those details. Very cool. Come on, baby. Good girl. Hey, pupper.
Look at that mess. That is so crazy.
Oh wow, that's not just her face. She's got a full face mask to this version of Paul.
Insane, dude.
I wonder if that went through. I don't think so, because the last comment I see is attracted to Belle Delphine, which I mean, you ain't wrong. So yeah, that's really impressive, dude. Frick is not a bad word. Yeah, Freak had that problem on Eating Beer 40K's live stream with words that are close to bad words, also getting blocked, and that's not us. I think that's just
no, it's not even. I checked the settings, and the settings aren't not supposed to block anything.
Yeah, I think that's just YouTube's general block guidelines.
YouTube.
Man, when Freak first got blocked, his comments blocked, he was so pissed.
Yeah, I'm starting to rage, man. Because I usually try to keep everything PG, even in our own channel, you know. Oh, it's like
I am a little less good about that.
I was like, man, are you freaking serious? I mean, I'm the last person. I say friggin', and next thing you know, blocked. Why? Man, I just.
Yep. He was definitely looking at like YouTube censorship videos and stuff like. He was so pissed about it.
Yeah, dude, I really was. I just had it. I was like, man, I'm ready to leave YouTube. Screw YouTube, man. Meath was like talking me off the ledge. No, Freak, just chill, man, chill. I don't usually let things bother me like that, but man, that really ticked me off. That's just like blaming me for something I didn't do. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. You're gonna blame me for something? All right, fine. Screw you, YouTube.
This violates YouTube's guidelines. Show me on the guidelines. Show me. Show me right now.
Yep. I was like, screw you and your guidelines, YouTube. Demonetized. Why? I didn't do anything. It's just like
Zane says most of his block comments that haven't gone through aren't that bad at all either. They're mostly like PG-12.
Yeah, I don't know. It's dumb. I don't get it. Part of their stupid what do you call it? Their algorithm. It sees something that it might be offensive, and it goes to some kind of like I don't know. It's some kind of I don't know investigation crap. I don't know. It's dumb.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind is that most of those censorship things are automated.
Right.
So it's not a person who's flagging you. It's just something comes up, and like you said, it flags an algorithm, and automatic action is taken.
Right.
So a lot of times when things go through an appeals process, it's like pretty immediate because when a live person looks at it, it's like, oh, actually, this is pretty reasonable.
Right.
Are we on news or art? So this is still part of the news. GW put this up. This cosplay was so successful and garnered so much attention, which if you look at it, I mean, it's phenomenal. So this is actually something that the GW put up on their community page. And then, Freak, whenever you get to a good point, and I'm sorry to keep interrupting you. I know it's tough to drive and airbrush at the same time.
I'm good, man. Yeah, whatever you need. I'm moving it.
Pimp cane. Look at that detail on the pimp cane. Like, again, really solid shading and highlight techniques done on that skull. So, and then this looks completely different from the skulls used on the servo skulls. So this is like a bleached skull bone where it comes out like, closer to pure white. So it's got that bleached look to it. And the servo skulls have that off-white bone kind of color. Yeah, that sums up this stream's focus story time. Yeah, well, that's me in general, guys. Every 2 steps, I end up telling a story. If you guys have ever seen Transformers, the movie, there's this character that's considered the old veteran Cup, and everything reminds him of a story. That reminds me of the time that we were on such and such planet. That's Cup sums up my character.
That actually works out for me because I'm actually knocking out some of these. I think what are these, wolves? Yeah, there you go.
Admittedly, I do find when I hear the airbrush going, some of this is me stalling for time. You want to go on to the next article, my brother?
Yeah, let me do it. Hang on, let me clear this out. All right.
You said one of these wolves. Zayd goes, "Are they, Freak? Are they?"
Squats.
And I think this is the second squat character that they've put out. So very cool. People keep asking for squats. And they keep coming to Necromunda, so that's kind of cool. So the first squat guy was a dude with a shotgun, and I think he had a bandana over his head. So this guy's kind of cool. It's called the Ammo Jack. You can hire Ragnir Gunstein as a hanger-on for your games of Necromunda. For mere 100 credits, you get all the benefits of an Ammo Jack, as well as his trusty shotgun and sturdy wrench. Plus, he's shorter than the rest of your gang, so you can hide behind cover more easily. That's kind of cool. It's kind of when people make things shorter, so that way you can hide behind terrain and stuff like that.
Right.
Tournament scene, that's considered, modeling for advantage. But this is built in right into the model here, so that's kind of cool. It's crazy because I hear that modeling for advantage going both ways too. If you make your character shorter than they normally is, then people call modeling for advantage because you can hide behind cover. But if you accidentally make them taller than they normally are, then they're like, you just want to be able to get line of sight more easily when you're shooting at stuff. It's kind of a catch-22, I think. And so if you're somebody who likes to convert and kit bash and whatnot, it can be kind of a big, pain in the rear. This time I didn't go all the way there. Oh, yeah, there's the first squat guy. So
nice.
Could you scroll up just a little bit so I can read?
Yeah, hang on.
So, yeah, 2 squats in the game now. That's pretty cool.
Pretty crazy.
So, of course, Ragnar's not the only squat you can bring. Team him up with the bounty hunter, Grendel Grendenson, for double the fun. The extra ammo will come in very handy with the 6+ ammo rule for Grendel's bolter. As an added bonus, you can finally say, I'm bringing squats to the game. Squats as plural. That's awesome.
Okay, let me move down.
So there's that bit of news. Anybody who's been excited for squats? I know several of our friends, like Brother Steve from Who Took My Dice, have been excited about squats coming back. So that's good to see.
All right, and we're back. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed how these guys turned out, man. This is the Penny Boucher formula here, and it looks. I'm pretty impressed. Definitely like how that turned out. Let me see if I can try to.
I tried to attack shot each time he said squats, and I can't speak. Did I just say squats a lot?
Yeah, you did.
Well, he's so drunk he dead now. Dude, that came out looking really good.
It definitely popping.
I love it, dude. I'm so excited to see your cavalry get on.
Oh man!
Which I have to retire. Even though I just painted them, I have to retire mine now. But
what? Shut up! They're not.
Nope, too late. They're already retired, sitting on the shelf right now.
Fuck.
I know. That's why I'm retiring them.
Man, I'm just bringing mine out. You can't do that.
They just can't match yours. Because I suck. So.
Shut up! Oh my god!
Oh, speaking of which, so we had a unique problem, and I've been playing Space Wolves for like almost 4 years now, and I've never come across this problem before. But I hooked them up with the cavalry, right? And I'm just grabbing bits because I want to get him some of these Space Wolf specific chest plates. I want to get him some of the weapons and stuff like that, and options and stuff like that. William Kuby, good to see you, my man. And so I'm just trying to hook him up with different stuff. I'm trying to make sure he had a storm shield for each one because a lot of people believe in keeping Thunderwolves cheap. I, on the other hand, don't believe in ever bringing Thunderwolves without paying for the storm shields.
Gotta have those. Survivability, man. You know?
Absolutely. And anyways, so I'm just grabbing bits from my bits collection. I've never had this problem before, but he somehow ended up with all plug sides of the armor. If you've never built Space Marines before, they tend to come in two halves, front side and back side. And usually there's slots that will slot these two pieces together, right? And so the receiving side of the slots and the prong side of the slots. He somehow, when I grabbed this bag of bits, gave him back sections with prongs and front sections with prongs.
But what's weird and what doesn't make any sense is that they're both space. Well, the chest plate is a Space Wolf chest plate. Yeah,
the back might have been from my bits from Space Marine bits.
Well, that's just it. The backs are definitely standard. They're because I have all of the ones that I have for my bits are the same.
Well, yeah, and there's nothing, and that's one of the things that threw me off because there's nothing that looks specific or unique about the back plates to Space Wolves because they're just going to get covered up with backpacks anyways.
Correct.
And so that's what threw me off. I wasn't expecting them to be different. But in 4 years now of mixing up Space Wolf bits and Space Marine bits, I've never come across this problem before. So
only me, rolling ones. Story of my life.
Interesting how the one time I tried to hook him up with bits, this is what happened. So he's painting the mounts right now, but he can't finish working on the riders until the next time I see him and can swap out bits with him. Also giggity.
Hey, gorgeous. Man.
But yeah. So that's what's going on. Any more news, my brother?
That's it. That's everything.
That's everything.
Yeah.
Well, then we've got it's actually pretty good timing. We got 10 minutes left in the show, and we've got our two weekly bits to put out.
Yep.
I apologize, Zane, but it looks like with just 10 minutes left to go in the show,
Yeah, we got to
we
do
may
it.
actually have to do a
Although Zane, for you, I think what we could do is I have all of these archived, so I can just mount them all and play them all back to back from the very first one to the most current one, and just let it ride and see, and we can all just listen for Atomic Dog's brain to just explode.
really good question by Wolf Wraith, painting question. He says, do you guys tend to go with more dry brush highlights for your Marines or edge highlights?
I do the edge highlight. Um, it just depends on the type of model, but typically I will do the edge highlighting if I can.
For myself, it depends. If I'm being paid for it, then yep, I will sit there and bite my lip and force myself to do edge highlighting. If I'm doing it for myself, though, 100% dry brush highlighting. Because in the immortal words of the internet, nobody got time for that. Also, it doesn't help that I'm not good at edge highlighting, and therefore I become easily uninterested in it. And of course, we've talked about this in the show before. Mythos has a flaw that if he is not immediately good at something, I will try and get out of it. And so that is a personal flaw I have. And again, I definitely want to do a good job if somebody's paying me for it, if it's a commission. It's just on my own stuff that I 100% skimp on. And I don't know. I like how my Space Wolves look with dry brush highlighting. And actually, my Ultras look like that too.
There's no right or wrong. I mean, that's just it. I mean, Mythos can actually make his Space Wolves look amazing with the. And I always ask him, dude, did you edge highlight this? I can't tell you how many times I've asked him that, and he'll tell him, no, I didn't. Wait a minute, how did you it? I just dry brushed it. It just the way his technique that he does it. Maybe one day he can do an actual tutorial on proper dry brush highlighting, because it looks like it's been edge highlighted.
Maybe I'm afraid to do that though, because I have been in so many hobby groups where they're like, man, it burns my ass when people show people how to do dry brushing on the internet, and 99% of them don't do it right. For some reason, dry brushing, people get really, really hardcore on the proper technique.
Yeah, but those are the same people that will never, ever, 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 ever try contrast paints.
Fair enough. Zane says he's got about 150 Marines, 12 captains, my own custom chapter master, 3 Razorbacks, a Rhino, a Whirlwind, 3 Chaplains, and many more to paint.
Wow.
All need to be stripped and painted.
Holy cow.
That's a shame. That's quite a project there, my man.
It really is. That's a lot of paint.
It's close to 200 models worth of army there.
Oh, man, you ain't lying. Jesus.
But man, we would definitely love to see your progress, especially being that you're somebody who, I think you've said before in the past that you're not really a painter as of before, that you're just now getting into it because somebody else was painting your army. And
dude, we'd love to encourage you, man. Absolutely,
yeah.
Man. Oh, man.
And you're going to find that in the course of 200 Marines, you're definitely going to build up some skill.
Yeah.
The problem, and this is where I couldn't stand to show off my Space Wolves for so long, is that my Space Wolves were my first army, and my first work looks terrible compared to what I do now. And in the process of doing about 200 models, my skill set definitely increased a ton. And now so many of them don't look like my original works. Now I've gone back and repainted quite a bit of them. And actually now I have, I would say a good 70% of my army actually looks like the new stuff, which I'm really pleased with. But, there's still that other 30% that's still kind of sitting there like, man, I should really repaint that. Just because I don't like for it to look inconsistent.
Oh, man. I mean, I still have such a vast difference between my first early works army and what I do now, because I'm constantly evolving from each piece, actually. So I'm gonna have to go back and almost do them all. Oh, I remember when I first did Lysander. That's about the first time when I started working out with the airbrush.
Yeah, I mean, although, and this isn't just me, like, you know, butt kissing here. Many people have said this about your work before, and that's how your work, honestly, like if you look at, what you've done before and even your early works, that you are one of the few people that have their first army actually look pretty good. Like, you like experienced.
I don't know about experienced. I just know that I mean I saw some things that I wanted to emulate, and I tried my best to do it. And of course, I didn't have all the technique down, so I didn't it didn't look half as good as my stuff does now. I mean, that's just part of the growing, right? I mean, that's what we do as painters.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
so,
I mean, naturally, in the process of getting in practice, one becomes better.
right? But it's still you get the problem of, you know, you have the issue where, oh crap, you see your old models and you're like, oh, that's not as good as I wanted them to be. They don't look like this guy, you know? Ah.
Holy crap. So he got 100 of the Marines, a librarian, a chaplain, some of the captains, and the tanks all in a trade for just 2 nights in Belisarius Call.
Really? Jeez, jeez, man. That's a hell of a deal.
Uh, Made about an additional $200 worth of models. Yeah, you definitely came out ahead in that.
Yeah, you did. That's a nice army, man.
Man, whoever traded that to you must have been really eager to get on board with the Knights and Call.
I'm surprised they didn't call the cops on you because you definitely robbed them. All right, so are we ready for our friend then, Mythos?
Yeah, let's bring on Chaplain EMO.
All right, because this was definitely a long week.
Especially getting some good motivation going into our weekend. You know what I mean, Vern? Wow, could I have said a sentence that Dave did me anymore?
Well, you don't know how to feel, just how much of the emo joy will make you squeal. So when the world is down, you want to scream, just listen to the words of Chaplain Emo.
All right.
Again, that song, as always, puts a smile on my face. A great way to start the weekend.
It's probably broken because it's pretty jacked up. I'm gonna have to re pull that up from my drive. I don't know, but anyway, it's probably as broken as emo is. So, shall we ask him the question, Mythos?
Yep. Chaplain Emo, my man, you always bring us the word straight from the Emperor. We want to know what words of wisdom you got this week. What does Chaplain Emo have to say on this week at this moment?
Here we go.
Men, some of you have asked me, Chaplain, why do they call you Chaplain Emo? I don't know.
Well,
Is that not his name?
I thought it was. I I don't know. I thought
I thought his name was Chaplain Emo.
emo. I mean, what? No.
Uh, well, this is awkward. Man, we've been introducing him every week as Chaplain Emo.
Right, and that isn't he? That's his name, right? That's or is it just a nickname? Maybe it's a nickname. I don't know. Maybe we've been calling him something that we shouldn't be calling him. I don't know, man. That guy's a pretty sensitive little guy.
His real name is Chaplain EMO. We just shortened it by a letter.
Oh my.
That's
Poor
kind of
Elmo.
hilarious.
Poor Elmo. Not related to the little red guy.
Now it's now I can't get the idea of tickle me emo out of my head.
Yeah. Oh no. No, don't do that. Tickle me emo. Ugh. That just sounds wrong.
Well, my man, I think the best way to end this week, especially since it's only awkward if we let it be awkward, but
This is true. Yes, this is so true.
the word this week may not have been as encouraging as we thought, but that's okay because we can drop some knowledge. This week we have 100% true fact about Elstonation.
Oh, that's right. Number 11. Okay. Let me see how I'm going to do this because this is way over there. Typically, I read it. Jeez, hold on.
I can read it this week.
Okay, all right. Let me go straight to it. Hold on. All right. You got to do it in the sexy voice, don't Mythos?
Oh, I don't have a sexy
Yes,
voice.
you do. Yes, you do. Shut your mouth. Yes, you do.
So, this week's
Oh yeah.
100% true Elstonation fact. A single hair from Superman can hold 1 ton of weight. A single hair from Elstonation's beard, however, can edge highlight 1 ton of plastic models.
Boom. Boom. There you go. 100% Elstonation facts.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
We have a word of the week, tentacles.
I kind of liked it when you did it. That was actually cool. No, I think Mrs. Mythos probably was getting into it too, huh? Huh? Lily? No, she's ignoring us. Okay, never mind. I can just imagine her rolling her eyes right now.
I can't see her, but I feel it. All right, so that was our 100% true Elstonation fact this week.
Yep.
What number was that? I missed it.
Number 11.
Number 11.
Number
So join us
11.
next week when we have 100% true Elstonation fact number 12.
And who knows?
Does it edge highlights on its own, or is that just last 1 ton of models? Well, I mean, the hair itself is the perfect edge highlighting tool, but I think it still needs an artist to put on the highlights.
All right.
It is Elstonation's hair, though, so who knows?
This is true. It could be assisted by his hair. I don't know.
I mean, you might walk out of the room to go make a sandwich and come back, and all your models are edge highlighted.
Whoa. Dude, that's epic.
I'd pay for that.
Yeah. I would ask, I would pay his beard to commission a model.
You walk away from the one single hair, which initially I was thinking of it as like, used as a paintbrush, but now I have this strange image in my head of walking out of the room with like leaving $100 bill on the counter. You come back and the $100 bill is gone and all your models are edge highlighted.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Which is about how long it takes Elstonation to actually knock out a commission. Go make me a sandwich. Come back. Oh, wait. This commission's done.
Dude, I'm super stoked. He's coming out really, really good. Man. I love the bluish, kind of like the bluish.
You have the hair transplanted on your face.
Cybernetic hair transplants, man.
I wonder if you would just inherit some of the powers of Elstonation.
Ooh. I don't know if that's possible.
That would be interesting to see. Some of this Agrax or shade. Would that be a better use? What if you eat it?
That's gross.
Why is it I could see Zane like just stealing like a bag of Elstadation beard clippings,
Right.
forming like all these experiments on it?
Got candles lit on each side.
I'm seeing like some kind of mad scientist lab.
I was thinking more of like, freaking seance and crap.
I was starting to sound a little SCP.
He says, I'll try anything. I have so much to paint. I laugh because I know that feeling.
Right.
All right, guys. So, Freak, any other closing words? Just 11:05. Anything before we close it out?
No, man, I enjoyed this. This is unique. And I have a question, really. How you guys like this format? I mean, got a chance to enjoy doing some hobbying while I chatted with you guys, but also got y'all to, see what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So you got to see the whole process, my airbrushing. These I think they're wolves. So I think I don't know. I mean, if you guys like that, we can do it again, or we can try something else. But this is kind of what I want to do when I'm doing tutorials or working on something specific. I would of course suggest the camera a little closer to the subject so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So, but I don't know. I mean, if it looks like something you like doing, you like seeing, then let me know in the comments below, or let me know here in the chat, and we can keep going. You can see how I do my stuff here.
Well, I always enjoy seeing your airbrushing because I feel like I can learn something from it. But guys, yeah, let us know if you want to see more of his in progress. That's what he basically picked up this whole dual camera setup just for this. So, and he plans on doing some of this more. And there's some talks about, he may even be doing some solo streams at some point, talking about, doing some things like paint and chats for Patreon content where he can do some more of this live stuff. Of course, I think some of it will just be him chatting solo while he airbrushes and stuff like that. But I mean, but yeah, we're talking about several different kinds of things and options. So just let us know what you think about any of it, and if any of it would be interesting for you to watch. Yeah,
that'd be really cool. I mean, we definitely talked about a Patreon page where you have exclusive, access to live streams and specific content that could be helpful, tutorials, things like that. Stuff that we don't normally really share a whole lot. I mean, we do some because we like to share a lot of our. I mean, we don't like to hoard our little bit of talent that we do have, but it would be a good opportunity to actually put something back towards the channel so we can help us grow. Because you guys see, we've got mics, we have cameras, all that, of course, costs some cheddar, and we definitely would like to start growing the channel once we get close to the 1,000 subscriber mark. Well, then you're going to see a slight shift on our channel. Not the content, we're going to still be ourselves. That's never going to change. Freak's going to be Freak, Mythos still going to be Mythos. We're going to be the same two lovable, huggable goofballs that you guys have all grown and enjoy. But things like our logo and
we paid an actual graphic artist to revamp our logo.
Yep,
pretty cool.
Yep, because we don't want any crap from nobody when we go live. So we don't want to be demonetized or be marked or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I mean, we would consider doing Twitch as well. Whatever we can do to get more exposure and have access. But again, our main focus is here. I kind of teetered about having YouTube as a secondary or more of a alternate but it's our primary. This is where we cut our teeth, and this is where we're gonna really, continue to be a part of the community. But we'll use the others as additional.
Right, but you do bring up a good point, Zane. A lot of popular YouTubers do the dual streaming where they
Right.
stream to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time, which might be something to look at.
Yep, definitely. Yep, and that's a good venue. So, but yeah, man, it's a lot of cool stuff coming up in the horizon, man. Really excited.
So yeah, I'm really excited for all of that. 3 court projects you got coming up this week.
Well,
I know
brother,
you're working on the Calvary. I do need to get you the bodies.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. I do have some of the other bodies here that I ordered, so I still have some of those. I can probably just use those, or I'll just continue to work on the mounts, and I'll just have all the mounts together, and then when I'm ready for the bodies, I'll put them all together. I also have RJack that I can put together.
Sweet.
I've got I don't know who this guy is. I'm gonna have to send you a picture and let you tell me. But he's basically already assembled. I think he might be the rider, might be the king, the Wolf King.
Harold?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it might be. I'll have to show him to you.
Yeah, I think when you were looking, they didn't have a Canis, but you did get a Harold Deathwolf.
Yeah. And yeah, I've got a bunch of other cybernetic wolves. So yeah, man, I've got a lot to do. So I used these 3 to see how they would turn out, and I'm very, very impressed how well. I'll mess up my wash here on this. Let me turn on this light, see if it makes it look better. Okay. See. I don't know if this looks any better or not. But yeah, I think this has turned out pretty nice.
Yeah, I think it looks incredible, dude.
I have a little work to do, I have to do the metallic, slap some black onto it, like with the nose and all that.
So you're doing your Harold as Harold, right? You're not making
Yes.
your own custom wolf for it?
No. I'm gonna keep him as as canon as I can. Of course, with my own particular paint style.
Well, yeah, I didn't, I know you're doing everything by the book, but I just meant like within the book, I know that you're a big fan of using like actual named Lysander versus building your own captain or chapter master.
Yeah. I'm not ready to expand that too much right now.
Right on.
But yeah, man. I'm pretty happy how these turn out. Very excited.
Whenever you're ready, man. Some of the relics are so good, like Wolfenstone being able to get an extra attack or shield armor of Russ and being able to shut down people's attack phase and make them fight last.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah. Thanks, Thomas. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'll send pictures to the chat. You guys can see how it turned out. So still got to do a little bit of black, and it just looked really cool.
And then all the extra cool details like the teeth and tongue and
right
cybernetic parts.
Yep, that's just
that's all. That's a lot of fun to paint.
Man. So yeah, I'm excited, man. Pretty stoked.
I think this week we'll probably do some revisiting to the Tau. I also
how much of that do you have left?
Yeah, some of it I just need to put in a box and send to Richard for assembly because I'm looking at and part of it is just that it came like partially assembled, like they started on it and then decided they wanted to commission it.
Oh.
And so I don't know what I'm doing with a good chunk of it or how I would go about magnetizing certain. I'm just going to send it to the expert and let Richard build it magnetized.
Why not?
So
he is the dude.
Yeah. Just get the expert involved, and so we'll see what there is after that. 'Cause I've got like part of it in a box of things I'm confident to work on, things that I need to send to the expert, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So.
Oh, that's definitely a thing, man. Oh man. Good stuff, man. Good stream. I
Yep.
appreciate everybody coming out tonight.
Wish me luck putting these hell blasters together. They're in a bajillion parts.
I cannot believe that they come out so different than our.
Well, I mean, it's the difference between an easy build set and a fully posable set.
That's true. This is true.
Oh my. Well, that's a pot of ain't no good anymore. I just found one of my pots fully dried out.
Oh, don't you love that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a pot I use very often, but it's just the design of the pots. Anyways, so yeah, that's what we've got going on this coming week, guys. I'm in mode for I'll be finishing up my wife's D&D model here soon. I've just got to seal mine, finished up Dark Lights this week, so I'll probably do like a whole D&D characters kind of showcase at some point. And I've got one more to do of my, because this is my character in the campaign with Freak, but then I also have one I'm going to do with the family.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's character's painted up by mine, so I've probably got a second D&D character to paint up.
Oh, that's cool.
So that'll be one more thing to paint up, and then probably work on the Hellblaster some more this week. So yeah, I've got a couple different projects. Plus, I've recorded something for one of a couple of showcases. I just need to make time to sit down and edit. So
speaking of recording, yeah, I got to edit and post our bat rat
report. Yeah,
I'm excited about that. Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. Man.
So I'm pretty stoked for all those things.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's visit the chat one more time before we close it out. Scroll. I hate this touch scroll.
Why'd you get it?
I didn't realize it had a touch scroll when I got it.
Oh.
I like the design of the Arc mouse. I just don't like the touch scroll.
Right.
Agrax Earth spill. No spill this time. I enjoyed it. I missed the after stream battle report. We actually did that on Saturday. It wasn't anywhere near our streams, but we're definitely excited for you guys to see it. Just because it was a good, fun game. Like you said, you'll never find a really competitive or super. We do hope to eventually in the future get more detailed, get the quality of our streams up a little more.
Yeah.
Eventually, one day we might do the whole kit and caboodle, all the dice rolls and stuff like that. Right now, it's just very casual between rounds, two bros having a good game. Kind of that's our style of battle reports. So, and we might try streaming at one point, but I do kind of like the pre-recorded battle reports.
Yeah, I mean we did stream it once, and it turned out okay. Too bad.
You can do Twitch stream. Wait, no. He's the complete opposite of you, Freak. That's why I got rid of Call. He doesn't like, or he hates using the named characters. And I can see a lot of people say the same because all their war gear can't be changed out. They don't get to take relics.
Right.
Because their war gear is usually considered their relics. You don't get to customize their warlord traits. And like you've mentioned before, that you love Lysander, but you wish you could give him the warlord trait for being able to get the field open.
I still have a Primaris captain I can use. So.
Right. So I was just saying you could do the same thing with the Wolf Lord, like kind of build your own.
Yeah, eventually I'll do that. Yeah, but of course initially I'm going to start off with the.
Oh, exactly. I was just clarifying, with the stream here what I was mentioning.
Yep.
Customized versions with different paint job as proxy, but I hate using the real characters. I don't even like doing named chapters for Marines. I think it just makes it feel more mine. Makes sense. That's why I love my custom Silver Moon Wolves. I'm going with Space Wolves, but it's just my personal flair, my own lore, my own color scheme,
right.
My own history for my characters. Getting some well done freaks. on your paint work.
Oh, thank you guys.
You guys should try Dark Heresy. I'm considering getting into it, but I don't know. I hear a lot of people say it's good, and if you guys follow her, Ego Queen Alexis, or I think she's Norn Queen Alexis now, you go check out her channel. She plays some of that as well. And they seem fun when I'm watching, but I don't really, I'm not really listening closely to pay attention. I usually have it on while I'm doing something else like painting or washing dishes or something. So I'm not paying too much attention to the system. I'm more listening for their personalities and their interactions and stuff like that. But they're really good. Go check out the channel, Ego Queen Alexis.
And she's cute.
He says, thank you very much for the awesome show again, guys. So, yeah, thanks to everyone in the chat tonight.
Yeah.
Wolf Wraith, Inquisitor Zane, Dave Dog, I was in the chat for a while, X-Gear Commander, William Kubi was in the chat, of course, Brother Thomas, Brother Steve. Archer, I just realized there was no Archer tonight.
No Archer and no
Roxas.
Roxas wasn't on either.
Darklight Dreamer, my main man.
Yep, he was on.
He was on, got to talk a little bit about our amazing D&D game.
Too fun.
So, yeah, just Al Kirkham, champ. Yeah, thanks to everybody that was in the chat tonight. Thanks to everybody who's watching in the archives. If you guys like tonight's show, then grab up an axe and smash that like button. In the name of the Emperor, drop us some comments down below, especially if you're watching from the archives. Feel free to be part of any of these crazy conversations. And, of course, if you are not yet subscribed to this channel,
You don't know what you're missing.
Rica Licioso,
Yes.
and I would love to have you as part of the pack here on the Frost and Fist. So subscribe, hit that little bell button, and run with the pack. And then, of course, till next time, guys.
Stay frosty. This is the part where I go and turn it off.